Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Big Moves, Bigger Conversations. On the screen today, we have Corey Paul of the Corey Paul Hair Studios located in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Give the people a little wave, Corey. Corey and I are going to have such a good conversation, and I hope you guys walk away not just from the chat understanding our rapport, but also just like Corey is such an educator. So let me just get into his bio. Corey is a husband, father, educator, sometimes a therapist, a stylist, a brother, all of the things. And from my experience, anytime I've sat in his chair, and I started going to Corey Paul when I was in college, I'm really good friends with his sister, who also did an episode on the podcast early on. But Corey is one of those people where you sit down and you feel at home. And so I was excited for the opportunity to have Corey on today's episode because he has such a wealth of knowledge. But more importantly, he is just one of those spirits that when you come across, you want to stay connected. And so I'm opening up Corey Paul to the broader audience. And I just want to say welcome. And I'm really excited for our candid conversation.
That was such an amazing intro. Can you run it back one more time?
You can watch the replay. So, Corey, you've been doing hair since you were 18 years old. When did you realize hair was your thing?
I would say probably my ninth grade year. I kind of like dibbled and dabbled in hair. I have two sisters. And so when I got in ninth grade, my sister under me, Courtney, she was going to her fifth grade social, and she needed her hair done. And so when I tell y'all, like, it was the most ghetto, ratchet hairstyle that you can ever think of, but like the hairstyle was laid. The teacher was like, did your hair. And so then it just kind of like sparked my interest, and I just started doing girls' hair at school and just kind of just growing from there.
Awesome. You're an 80s baby. And so prior to it becoming attractive, becoming an entrepreneur, how did you know that you wanted to go down the entrepreneurial track?
I mean, it's just always been in me. I was a scammer a little bit. Like, this is the true story, y'all. This is how I really know, like, I've always had an entrepreneur spirit. Like, I made fake raffle tickets on our computer. I mean, they were so laid out, so detailed. We made so much money. So, we just went around selling fake raffle tickets, and, it became a big business for us. So then it just kind of just like sparked that entrepreneurial spirit, and it was just like, well, how else can I start making quick money? I had to be probably in about 8th grade when this happened. So if you bought a raffle ticket, I apologize, but thank you. But yeah, that's how I started.
That is funny. No, but again, going back to sort of your earlier childhood around the access to money, right? You were money driven. And I don't know that a lot of people are comfortable having that tagline. Mm-hmm. So when you think back to your 18-year-old self, right? How heavy was that decision to bypass the traditional college route?
It wasn't heavy for me at all.
Okay.
So my father, he's an entrepreneur. So seeing him start a business with a mop, a broom, and trash bags, and is one of the largest janitorial supply companies on the East Coast. So, I mean, I seen it grow from, again, that small truck, that little bit of equipment, to where it is now. So it wasn't hard for me. It kind of came natural. Or it wasn't a hard decision. I think the hardest part was telling my parents that I wanted to go to hair school.
Yeah.
Just going to college like the route they wanted for me to go.
Right.
So that was the hardest part. But other than that, it wasn't heavy or hard for me at all.
Well, that's good. But is it a personality trait when you think about your conviction? Or are you just one of those people where because you've seen it, it's possible, and you're willing to just double down like on yourself? Where does that come from?
Absolutely the exposure. But I mean, me, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyway.
Yeah.
So I would say definitely seeing that it could be done.
Yeah.
Really, like, kind of gave me the extra confidence, the extra reassurance, like, hey, I can make it happen.
And you have. So leading into that point, you've always been consistent. I mean, I met you in college. Now it's like you've been in the industry for over 20 years. What do you think has contributed most to your longevity in a very volatile industry?
I would say not being afraid to evolve.
Yeah.
Not afraid to change. And then the positive thing is like I've grown up with my
Yeah.
clients, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, just think about when you first started coming, like your hair wasn't,
You're gonna do not get nasty on my podcast. If you try to read me on my own podcast.
you know, it wasn't the best. But you know, just as and just being for real, like you know, when I first started doing hair, I was doing a lot of weave, I was doing a lot of hard hairstyles.
Yeah.
Just as my clients began to grow, as they began to become college students and then working professionals, I had to evolve and grow with them. You know,
Yeah.
I think is one major thing, and then the second thing is just staying on top of education.
Hmm.
Education is super important for me. And I don't care how long I do hair, continue to do hair. I'm always gonna take classes. I'm always gonna continue to evolve. Right. You know, if you come to the salon, it's a multi-generational salon. So you have, you know, grandmas, moms, daughters, like the
Yeah.
whole family really can come to the salon and have a good time.
Yeah. And going in, where was that a strategy of yours? Like, I'm trying to give, I guess, my audience perspective of most people have an assumption that when you're going into a field, you have to have all the answers. And I want, through your story, to share with them how you've evolved.
So I would say not being afraid to say I don't know.
Yeah.
So like I think a lot of people, especially in the social media age, like they want to feel like they have it all together. Like I did not know.
Yeah.
Once I graduated high school, like I had no plan on how I will become a hairstylist to now where I'm a salon owner, a product owner, educational platform artist. I had no idea about all those things. But as I seen different things, I started to ask questions about it. Like, how did you get into this? Even as my clientele began to grow and I had clients that were in HR, I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, how do I handle these type of employees or these type of situations?
Yeah.
Um, so just not being afraid to say I don't know.
Yeah. From a business perspective, from a styling perspective, just like across the gamut, you were willing to get the education. And I love that. And it also sounds like you were willing to tap the individuals that you were coming in contact with to say, hey, this might be your expertise. How can I lean in? I love that.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like honestly, everybody already have everything that they need.
Yeah.
Like just not being afraid to open your mouth.
And utilize the network. So, as an example, Corey Paul is on the Big Moves, Bigger Conversations podcast. If you are someone interested in getting in the hair field or growing your business, why not tap into the fact that I've extended my network at this point to lean in? And that's with any of the guests that's been on the show. And that's primarily what this is about. So, why not take advantage of the folks here and learn from their lessons learned versus, trying to create a narrative where you have everything all figured out. Okay, so Corey, we've been talking a lot about your foundation and you getting in the industry and just becoming an entrepreneur. We are now in the age, or the era rather, of all things social media. And so, to your earlier point, everyone can sort of launch themselves as experts. How do you think, rather, social media has helped or hurt the industry? Give us like the unfiltered truth.
Baby, it's a second job. Do your hair, take pictures, get video, get stuff out because we talking about stuff, you know, in the chair that's personal that I
Yeah.
put online. So
Yeah.
it really is a task. And I mean, it can be a blessing and then it could
Yeah.
just be a headache too.
Yeah.
On the positive side, it does give you a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
That you may not have been able to get just in your city or
Yeah.
going to air shows. I mean, social media, like it exposes you to everybody. So like even on my page, like people are commenting in different languages and I'm having to translate and see like, okay, like do I have to be Corey Paul or can I really just like I really need to give me a burner page so I can really say what I want to say on my social media. But yeah, it just gives you a lot of exposure, but it is a second job.
Yeah.
And then just from an educator standpoint, it gets a little annoying because you have a viral post
Yeah.
or because you have the following, right? You have the social media game down, doesn't make you an expert educator,
Right.
right? So I've heard just people who've taken my classes, they have taken a viral person's class and they just walked away like I got robbed. And so it's disheartening because it leaves a bad taste in the
Right.
industry, right? Because now it's I don't want to take any more classes
Right.
because I'm afraid that I may have that same experience or I don't want to take any more classes because I'm not walking away with the knowledge that I expected.
Right.
So just because you are great with social media doesn't mean you're a great educator. All
Yeah.
right. I want to say that again. Just because you're great with social media doesn't mean that you're a great educator. Now, that does not mean that you can't become a great educator. Because even for me doing education, I had to grow in that field, right? So yeah, it doesn't mean that you can't become a great educator. So I would say for all my cosmetology family that's watching or maybe listening, definitely vet your educators before you take class, right? And that'll help you as well. And then me and you have had this conversation. Stylists now, like on Instagram, they want to be so put together. I have all these rules. I have all this big 4-page long policy,
Page after page after page.
and it's just like, don't be late. I'm not gonna send you the address to the day of. You have to send me a deposit, but don't send me a deposit on this page. Cash out me the deposit or Zelle it to me. And then once I get it, I'm gonna text you from a Google number that I
Right.
received. Like, it's just too much, right? And so I feel like if you're a professional stylist, like, you don't even attract those type of clients.
No.
Like, I've
No.
never asked my clients to put a deposit down. You can book through one site. Now you do have to put your credit card online, just in
Right.
case you try to play me, baby. I'm gonna charge that card, but I don't feel like I ever have to lead with that, if that makes sense, right? I want to lead with professionalism, right, and as an expert in my industry, and not come follow all these rules.
Like I literally cringe as somebody who gets their hair done faithfully. Anytime I go to somebody's site and the first thing is a list of rules and then it's a deposit and then it's maybe you can schedule or you can't, like it's just an immediate turnoff. I can absolutely understand why more people are trying to go down the path of trying to learn how to do their own hair and stuff because it shouldn't feel a service that is not a necessity should not be this demanding.
Right.
And it
Right.
is, and it's exhausting. And so I've always appreciated anyone who is seamless in their onboarding process of just getting your hair done. Now, I will say when it comes to booking, because Corey Paul, since we're taking all feedback, one of the most challenging things is getting an appointment. I get it, right? Like if you're good, people want to book up. But then it sucks because for the people that maybe aren't as consistent with locking in their appointments, they're no good. Like Corey, I've been trying to get on your book since 2023. When are you going to open up the books?
And again, the books are open, right? But this is the thing, right? I always tell people, like, that you have things coming up, like,
Yeah.
to get your hair done, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm in the Winston-Salem triad area. So, North Carolina, Aggie Pride, GHO is a big thing here. So, I'm like, right now is July.
Yeah.
October will be here in any minute. It's right around the corner. Start booking those homecoming appointments now. Don't wait until it's October 1st and homecoming is October 15th and you like, oh, I need an appointment.
Yeah.
Ma'am, those appointments have been gone.
Yeah. Well, let's just be clear. There was a time where all I had to do was come up there and sit in between appointments. Even those days are gone.
Right. Right. Those days are definitely gone. But again, it comes with evolving. So now I am a dad. I'm a husband. So, I can't be in the salon from
Oh,
sundown. Now, before all that, yeah, we can be in the salon to, 12 o'clock in the morning.
yeah.
But like, I don't want to be in the salon that long. I've been doing hair for, 20 years now.
Yeah.
So I want a good work-life balance.
Yeah. And that's fair. And we respect it. And for the folks that continue to show up, I mean, I can't hate on the fact that they're on time. Okay, Corey. When we think about from the time you started till now, what's one major shift in the cosmetology world that you've had to either embrace or resist?
I would definitely say salon suites.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Well, it's two things too. So I'm gonna say salon suites and wigs.
Is that a shift or a resist?
Resist. Definitely resist. I mean, for one, it's tearing up just our community's hairlines. Like it really is. It's really taking a toll on our hairlines. And I don't know if it's, improper installation, improper
Yeah.
removal. And then a lot of these young ladies, they're walking around with the wig bands on. Like, that's for during the service. And maybe, you sleep in it to keep the
Yeah.
lace down.
Yeah.
But it's not to walk around. Yeah, it's not a headband.
That is pretty.
So I'll say wigs. I mean, wigs can be amazing. I mean, if you're a performer, you're an
Yeah.
entertainer,
Yeah.
you are one who likes to change up your look often from, different lengths, different colors.
Yeah.
Wigs
Yeah.
can be amazing, but all jokes aside, just making sure that you are getting it done by a professional, someone who's taking classes on how to install them as well as remove them so that, it keeps your hair healthy. And then when it comes to salon suites, that has definitely impacted the industry, I believe, in a negative way. Now, please believe suites have been around for a long time. I
Yeah.
remember even before I got into the cosmetology industry, my mom went to a young lady who was in a suite. And so I feel like, but also she had been doing hair for a while. So she
Yeah.
was established. She had a lot of knowledge when it came to the hair industry. So, I mean, it worked out for her. But you have a lot of students and a lot of people who have not been in the industry that long moving into suites, and it just blocks your exposure. It blocks your community growth because you're just in that one room,
Right.
right? Versus, like, when you come to our salon, it's open floor concept,
Yeah.
it's conversation, it's
Yeah.
community, it's, oh, who's the new stylist? What does she do? So it's just like, even if you can't get in with me, you might say, well, hey, I seen a girl in the salon, she does beautiful work. And so now it just kind of opens you up and just really helps you build that community and that relationship. So I
And I
definitely.
think And I was going to say, I think you do a really good job, at least from the times that I've been in the salon, where the more junior staff, while you're working, if they don't have a client, them then coming over and watching you work.
Mhm.
And that goes back to that education component. From a client's perspective, I don't mind the suites because sometimes I do feel like it gives a one-on-one element, but that's if you run your suite well. I've been in some suites where you're not even upkeeping it. So I'm coming into like somebody's dirty room. What am I paying for? I think from a client's perspective, I find the challenge in the cosmetology realm is that no one wants any overhead costs.
Mhm.
They're looking for every way possible to like cut out, and it impacts the person sitting in your chair's experience. If I come into a suite and they don't have hot water or they don't have air conditioning, like you have to take that into consideration. What am I paying you for? What did I put a deposit down for?
The second question is, where are you going? Why are you going into these places with no hot water and no?
I found some good stylists here now that I'm comfortable using that I will never come off of. So everything that they're saying on TikTok, 85% of it is probably true.
Well, so I would definitely say a step that a lot of clients miss out on, or they feel like I don't want to do this step, is consultation.
Yeah.
Right. So consultation, it gives you an opportunity to express your goals, your needs, your wants, everything with that stylist, but it also gives you the opportunity to check out the environment. Is
Yeah.
it, do I need to leave my pocketbook in the car? It really does give you the opportunity to see, like, what's the salon environment like.
Yeah.
And then I think it just depends on the stylist. So I know you said like you value the one-on-one of the salon suite, but it's just like you can still get that same vibe in an open concept salon.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, you may have people walking back and forth, or somebody may come up and talk to you, ask a question. But it just also gives you the opportunity to build relationship. I'm big on relationship,
Yeah.
just that relationship and community within the salon. So we've had people like, okay, well, I'm looking for a job, I'm looking for X, Y, and
Yeah.
Z, and you
Yeah.
make a connection in the salon. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That you may not be able to make in a salon suite because it's just you and the stylist, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes, the clients, they might be like, all right, now I'm talking to Corey, this wasn't an open floor conversation, but it's just respecting community, right?
Yeah.
And then even me as the stylist being able to take control of the chair and the environment, just being able to take control of your business.
What do you hope the next generation of stylists understand about building not just a brand, but a sustainable career, right? We talk about the community and how important relationships are to you. What do you hope they're taking away?
That you don't have to have it all figured out. Don't be afraid to try different things. Like now in today's industry, it's just like, oh, I have to have a niche. Like I have
Yeah.
to be a wig specialist, or I have
Yeah.
to be a color specialist, or I have to be, whatever it is. Do it all. You
Yeah.
know me. I can give you a quick weave. I can give you a pixie cut. I can give you a sew in. Now I'm not gonna glue that wig to your forehead. Anything outside of that. So just not being afraid to be well rounded, and
Mhm.
it keeps your clientele strong. It keeps
Yep.
your clientele versatile. You're not doing the same thing over and over and over, becoming a robot, and experiencing burnout because you literally do the same thing on each client. You go to that one stylist and you see that stylist, they do that same style on everybody on
Yeah.
Instagram, and the
Yeah.
style looks good, but then it's just like, I look
What
like a.
else? So Corey, we talked a lot about like just how much you've transformed and you've stayed relevant. You mentioned earlier that you were a product owner as well as an educator on various platforms. How were you able to sort of go down those paths?
Not want to be chained behind a chair. I would say that was my main thing. Again, like I needed great work life balance. I wanted
Yep.
multiple income.
Yep.
So just trying to figure out ways to do that. The product line came about from, I don't want to say a lack of what the industry needed, but just a lack of what I had. So I know I wanted a product to perform a certain way. I wanted a product that could react well on different hair types, on different ethnicities. So just kind of developing that was almost like my third baby. It was a great feeling. It was just a great project to work on. The product line, of course, I was a platform artist, and so if you
Yeah.
don't know what artist is, that's a hairstylist. We go to different hair shows, we put on different classes in different cities, but just pretty much I was educating for a product company, a product brand. And so I wanted to make sure that I could stand behind my product like I stood behind other companies'
Yeah.
products.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of just happened like that. Now it was a lot of work. It
Yeah.
was a trial and error, a lot of money because I
Yeah.
didn't to just put paste my name on somebody else's product. I wanted to come up with my own thing. But yeah, just a lot of research and development, and it came out absolutely amazing.
Love that. And then from the education component, that you mentioned that you're an educator on various platforms. How did that come about?
That's because I went to the best hair school on this planet.
Okay. And
That was
that is,
that is Dudley Cosmetology University. Do
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
And so I really come from a great educational background. Like Dudley's did not play with us when it came to education. They exposed us to so many different things. So in hair school, I was going to hair shows. I
Yeah.
was putting on hair shows. I was competing. So Dudley's, they had product manufacturing on their campus and on their property. So I was able to see that. And then going back to the entrepreneur thing, the crazy thing is, right? My dad, remember I told you my dad was a janitor, right?
Yes.
As first contract was Dudley's.
Nice.
So like, as a kid, like, we was running around with the trash cans, pulling
Yeah.
I probably helped develop some of the products at Dudley's because we was definitely back there messing. But, just being able to be around that really helped shape and mold me to what I am today. But yeah, Dudley just didn't play with education, and I love that they exposed us to um so many great educators.
Yeah.
Those educators come into the school and, pour into us. And now even seeing those people still doing well in the industry, like Kim Kimball. I don't know if y'all know who Barry Fletcher is, but
Yeah.
Barry Fletcher, Patrick Bradley,
Yeah.
Micheline Barber. So like a lot of stylists like who have been heavy hitters in the game, like I got exposure to them early in my career.
Yeah.
So just coming from, a pedigree of strong education.
Yeah, yeah. And you got really excited talking about this. So I'm excited for the folks that are in the realm of cosmetology. If you're interested, check out Corey Paul's Instagram. He's on TikTok. He's on all these different platforms and figure out how you can tap in because, again, there's no industry that I'm aware of where education isn't important, right? As you're providing a service, as you're developing, even as you were talking, I'm thinking about my background, right? I'm in finance. I'm always thinking, what's the next certification? What's the next thing that we need to do? And so, why not own it in the same capacity and continue to develop and grow? From a business perspective, as an entrepreneur, what's your retirement plan?
Definitely come into the game with an exit plan.
Yeah,
That is something that a lot of hairstylists don't do. And this industry can be very addictive because you have money coming in. So financial literacy is super important, especially in our community, right? Because we want to be designer down, label down on every beach in Cancun, being smart about your money, putting your money up. Again, I come from entrepreneurs. So my dad has poured a lot into me when it comes to what to do with your money. I'll never forget. I was 22, and so my dad, he was like, you need to go meet with a financial advisor. And so at this time, like, I'm like, I don't need to meet with no financial advisor. Like, and we'd go ball out at the club, you
Yeah.
know. So finally, when I turned 23, he was just like, I made you an appointment, go,
Yeah.
right? And so from 23, I've really seen my finances, look, I've really seen them grow. But again, it's just having that education and, where do you want to be? Like,
Yeah.
what do you want to retire? What does it take to retire at that age? Where do you need to put your money? How do you need to set your money up? So just different things like that. So I'll definitely say having that exit strategy, like, hey, at whatever age you want to be done, how do I get to that point to where I can literally walk away? So for me, my number is 50. Right. So at 50, like, I don't want to walk away completely, but I don't want to have to stand behind a chair. So I told my financial advisor, like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
And so it was like setting up those different streams of income, like the education, like the product line, opening up a cosmetology school, which is coming soon. And so doing mentorship programs, different
Yeah.
things like that, to where I can create these different streams of income.
Yeah, and grow your brand. And I'm like cheesing with all my teeth because there's going to be another episode uploaded to Big Moves, Bigger Conversations, and I have a financial representative who comes on the podcast. That's what we talk about. We talk about financial literacy, some of the challenges with getting people of color to come in and just ask the questions so that you understand financially where you want to go and not waiting until you're at that age and then you're like, so.
Right.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So, Corey, we are getting ready to wrap up. And I want to give you an opportunity. Share with the audience what's next for Corey Paul and all things Corey Paul Hair Studios.
What's next? So franchising is next. Again, the cosmetology school is next, and y'all just stay tuned. I can't give
Yeah.
you all, but we definitely have some big things in the works. But I will say this, and I want to leave with this: pray about everything, worry about nothing.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I know I cut a fool on here. I know I cut a fool in real life, but literally everything that I have, from my business to my home to just everything, like, God has really given it to me. So I run my business like that. I try to run my life like that. Like, all this stuff is given to me. It's a gift to me. So I try to be respectful with it. I try to handle it in the right manner. So yeah.
Corey, I'm getting a little tear because I hope that folks walk away with a better understanding that it is possible. We have so many things, so many narratives that we create within our own minds around limitations of what we can and cannot do. But Corey is giving his testimony around just try, come in with the right attitude, lean on your spirituality, and you can make it happen. And relationships are so key. And so, with that, I thank you guys for joining another episode of Big Moves, Bigger Conversations. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Corey, I can't wait to see your evolution and you on the next iteration of Big Moves Pod. Thank you for watching another episode of Big Moves, Bigger Conversations. Like, subscribe. Thank you for watching another episode of Big Moves, Bigger Conversations. Like, subscribe.